So my nickname, it's a bit of a long story. For legal reasons, I'm not going to disclose the full story. But let's say one day I got really drunk and was with a bunch of school friends. And I might have found a dog on the streets, which I decided back then that I would call Roger while we're walking back home. Because I really wanted a dog back then. And I thought if I get a dog, I'm going to call him Roger. So then we went all the way back home with the dog, and it kept following us for like half an hour. And I kept calling him Roger. So then the next day, as all the good friends do, they started making fun of me, calling me Roger, Roger. And it kind of stuck from there. So I like the name anyways. It's just, it was meant for a dog. I took it upon me. What can you do?
Living in Greece must be nice.
Excellent, yes.
How often do you go to the beach?
So, you'll be surprised to know that in Greece, it's not always super warm. So, people don't go to the beach during the winter and whatnot. So, everyone goes though during the summer, like from, let's say, late May to early September. I usually decide to go between July and August. That's where most people go. And it's very common actually to have a beach house for a lot of people, or just rent one. And yeah, a lot of people go there, including me, with some friends, go there for a couple of weeks and enjoy the beautiful beaches in Greece.
What are your chances of getting a weapon drop in Greece?
So we ran the math. I do not like my odds, but never tell me the odds is what I told Scribe, okay? I have made a lot of hunters, 8 to be exact. I hope one of them gets it. If not, yeah, I mean, I can always support from the outside.
Who do you think is going to be your favorite boss this tier?
My favorite boss. I think most of the bosses are pretty cool this time around. I think Broodkeeper is pretty interesting because it actually has a lot of freedom of how you do the fight with movement and which how to swap the groups during the fight. So I think that might prove to be either a really cool boss or a really bad one. You know, it's like there's no in between really. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Apart from that though, like the more normal bosses, I think Brazageth could be really cool, but we haven't seen it yet. And Kurog, I think, with the 4 different phases, again, because you have the choice how you want to do the fight, and I think that's always super interesting as a guild who doesn't, you know, copy some strats. When you go there first and you have to choose how to do the fight, it's something you don't really get to do too often. So very cool when the fight allows you to do it.
How much does being comfortable affect raid performance at a race to first?
So as you know, people think we're playing for 25 hours per day. That's not true, but we do play for quite a while. So it's very important to be in a comfortable setting. That's why we try to make the whole area feel very close to playing from home and very relaxed for every player. And, you know, not have too many flashing lights or anything like that. Of course, a big part of that is where do you actually sit? That's where Secret Lab, of course, come in. And yeah, it's honestly, I have the chairs in, everyone has the chair at their home as well. So honestly, it feels like home playing from here. It's great and very comfortable.
Speaking of chairs, what is your favorite seating position?
Okay, sitting positions. I've seen people do some crazy yoga stuff, okay? Like the knee to the elbow, to the knee to the chin, or I don't know, some crossed legs and whatnot. I just do the normal stuff. I think maybe like a little bit like this with the leg up on one knee. That's about it, yeah? Maybe switch the other knee. And of course, when it's splits time and it gets very, let's say, mind-numbing with doing the 10th split, maybe we do a little bit like this, you know, like, and we play from this position. Yeah.
If Discord had to have a forced status, what would it be? You have a wing, do not disturb, online, and...
That's a good question. You know, we have a phrase that stuck from the previous year, and that is that we are in shambles. Yeah. So I would say when things are going crazy, yeah, that would be a good status to have, so people know. Only talk to me if it's something super important, because right now we're in shambles.
One feature of your chair that you cannot live without.
One feature of my chair that I cannot live without. I would say, so far, it must be the magnetic pillow. It's so good. I've tried other chairs in the past and they have the strap, but the level of freedom it gives you by just adjusting it exactly where you want, it's so good. But there's a new contender in town, okay? So Secret Lab has released these new fluffy armrests, and I've always loved these things. The elbow, do not underestimate their elbow health. It's very important. So I'm very happy with trying this out, and let me tell you, I'm getting some of those for my home.
And relaxing position in the Secret Lab chair.
My focused, okay, okay. So focused is, I don't know, I usually have a screen in front of me, so it's a little bit hard. But I would say, yeah, it's just a little bit leaning forward. Relaxed, probably just like this, I guess, yeah. Not a bit, nothing special. Maybe the leg up, you know, just, yeah.
What makes the perfect iced coffee?
Perfect iced coffee. Well, I mean, you're talking to a Greek, right? So I must say, I've tried a lot of different coffees in my life, but there's nothing like the Greek Freddo espresso, okay? When I travel abroad, I try to find some special barista who knows how to make that coffee. If they don't, I try to teach them. Thankfully, because we've been to Iraq twice, I have my special person here who knows how to do it, and it's basically a 20% DPS boost having that. So if you go to Greece, make sure you get a Freddo espresso or Freddo cappuccino, you know, a little bit of milk there, but I think that's the best.
Do you plan on breaking any production equipment during this race?
Okay, so I cannot make any promises. We did get insurance on some of the stuff just in case, specifically insurance by breaking via airborne shoe, but not sure if that was worth it. I'll try to keep it contained this time. The probability, I would say, is not zero though, not zero.
How long do you think the race is going to last? And then how long do you hope the race is going to last?
Okay, so the race I think is going to last between 5 to 9 days, but I hope that it lasts 7 to 10, let's say. Yeah, I think there is a chance that the bosses fall over because they've changed a lot of things this time around, like the loot system, and borrowed power is not so prevalent. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the tuning of the bosses will be, and yeah, it's either going to be an early week 2 or a late week 1, but I hope it's not too short, let's say, right? Like I think going into the second week, couple of days, that is a good amount of days to have in its progress.